On today's episode, restaurant consultants are worthless, and I should know because I am one. When people ask, what do you do? I never have a great answer for that. When I used to work for others, my response was general manager or director of operations. Very straightforward titles. Korgen Hospitality has been going for nearly 7 years, and I still don't have a good answer. Because every time I say, oh, I'm a restaurant consultant, I get that look. You know that look. It's a total pejorative in our industry. And the major impression by most people in the industry is that restaurant consultants are completely worthless. So today I want to talk about why. And the first thing I'm going to say is oftentimes they have a point. First, there's a perception that restaurant consultants walk in, point at what's wrong, and then just take a check and walk away. And that's not an incorrect statement for a lot. Very, very early in my consulting career, and I was listing all the things that were wrong, and the owner just stopped me and said, hey, we don't need an alarm. And it drove home the very big point. A lot of consultants just tell you what's wrong, and they don't create lasting solutions. The other reason that the term restaurant consultant is a pejorative is because oftentimes it's just bullshit. People use the term consultant when they really weren't consultants. We all have gaps in our resume, but if you notice so many people filling it with their consultant job, it's not real. And they talk about, oh, I helped a buddy's bar. Oh, I helped out. That's not a consulting company. That's just you picking up odd jobs while you're unemployed. Going on 7 years, I will tell you, that's not what I do. So yeah, I've often thought about actually not saying consultant. I've thought about calling myself an advisor. I've thought of saying, I work in restaurants. But just a week ago, I ran into somebody I hadn't seen in a while, and he says, hey, what are you doing these days? And I said, I'm a restaurant consultant. And he literally did this. Oh. And then walked away. I would do better to say, hey, Ken, what do you do? Oh, I push old ladies downstairs. Somehow that's probably more valuable than being a consultant in so many people's eyes. So I guess the question is, what makes us different? 1, the initial consultation, both on the phone and in person, is free. This gives us an opportunity to talk about where your needs are and if we actually have the ability to help you. 2, I get you an entire list of what I would do if I happen to own your restaurant. Everything from cost control, menu development and change, examination of labor, build sheets, inventories, new vendors, all of it. I provide that to you for free. And my question is always, do you have the bandwidth to do this? And I will tell you, it's about 50-50. The number of times that I provide this step-by-step analysis of what I would do if I owned your restaurant to where people say, great, thank you so much for this, and then they attempt to do it on their own. Ultimately, why I chose to do this is to help people. And if you can do it on your own and save the money and not hire a consultant, then great. And I wish you the best of luck. Half the time, yes. Half the time, no. And at that point, that's when they talk about hiring Korgen. The next part of this is going to sound insane. Say you hire us for a couple of weeks. What I traditionally do is work a week, making sure to itemize what I'm going to do, what is going to be accomplished, and give daily reports on progress. And then at the end of the week, sit down and say, do we agree that you found value? And if at the end of week 1, you decide, no, I don't feel that this is a good fit, then once again, we shake hands and walk away. In the history of Korgen Hospitality, I've never, not once, ever had somebody say, no, it wasn't valuable. But if that were ever the case, I would happily walk away. Our name is too important to us, and this industry is too small to make anyone feel like they paid for something that they didn't get the full value on. If you're in the industry, you probably hate consultants. But instead of pretending that I'm not one, I'd rather do a great job and be one of the few that tries to make it better. Or I could go with arsonist. I mean, it does sound like fun, Got to throw out the plug for my book, The Surprise Restaurant Manager. When you find yourself being handed the keys to a restaurant and you don't know what you're doing because no one ever taught you, which is how most of us find ourselves in the industry, this book should help you along. It's available at all those great places, and there are links below to check it out.